Okay, hey, I'm Buster Green, and welcome back to my third and final exciting review of Universal Studios Japan and their last Japan exclusive ride, the USJ exclusive Detective Conan 4D Theater Show. And I'm making this video because there is so much confusion and misinformation about this ride, and I need to clear the air here. So this is its own video because I feel like this information might be urgent for some confused Conan fan out there who speaks English and not Japanese and wants to have a great vacation. And otherwise, if you stumbled onto this video randomly, check out my previous videos about USJ as a whole, how we got tickets, and how the Spy Family ride put my friend in the hospital. So the big weirdness to the Detective Conan ride, and I think this also might overlap with the One Piece characters doing their own version of the Waterworld show, is they sell tickets for this ride. They technically sell Fast Pass tickets for this ride, and what's weird is they sell them constantly at the front door, and that threw me off because I wasn't sure what the deal was with that here. No other rides at the park have constant Fast Pass tickets like this. Like the ones that you had to buy to get into Nintendo World and Harry Potter Land, they had to be bought like in a hyper reservation almost 2 months in advance. Wait, I did book my rides at Universal Studios 2 months in advance. Damn it, USJ, you made a monkey out of me. At least I didn't need a special app to do it. Anyway, I want to very clearly explain this because no one was around to explain this to me. You do not have to buy tickets to go to the Detective Conan show or the One Piece show. Except maybe on some days, maybe you do, and that's complicated. All right, so let me explain. The Detective Conan ride is very cool because, like Mario Kart, it's one of the only rides in the park that is fully air-conditioned in an air-conditioned theater from the second you get in the line to the second you leave. It's very cool because there's air conditioning. Because this is obviously a massive relief from the 120-degree Osaka heat. Millions of people who go to Universal Studios bum rush these two rides as their number one things to do in the park, especially around the heat of the day when people are just running away from the sun in absolute misery. Now, despite this being the case, tickets are not required to see the show, but the tickets you buy guarantees that you will see the show. My point is, I really wanted to see the show and I wanted to see what it was, but I didn't want to buy a ticket for it because I already spent a lot of money on this trip and I was kind of broke by this point in the week. I was also quite shocked to understand and realize when I got there that the tickets are completely optional. It's like they allow so many free people to just go into the ride freely, but every time someone buys a ticket, one less free random person is allowed to go inside. So while the ticket guarantees that you get to see the show, if you don't have a ticket, you can still see it, you just have to tank through the line. And there is always the possibility that the line could be shortened down or cut off if too many people bought tickets to one particular time slot. So that's what's up with the Detective Conan tickets. You don't need them unless you're truly making seeing Detective Conan at Universal Studios your number one objective for the day, or you're specifically trying to schedule the Conan show to avoid certain weather conditions at certain times of the day. I'm so fucking relieved I finally figured that out, because that was driving me insane before I arrived, and I was considering seriously paying the $30 to see the Conan show because it is Universal Studios Japan's number one exclusive ride. Anyway, so I went to the ride last thing in the day, and there were no Fast Pass tickets at all because the line was actually half empty because most people are going to this ride just to use it as an air conditioning break. And at night, there's not as many people doing that. So I just waited in the normal line, and I want to say I was like person 30 in line out of like the theater holding a maximum capacity of like 300 people. All right, so now that that's all cleared up, the next big thing I was confused about is what the hell is this ride? And that's another thing that's confusing because for whatever reason, the park lies about what this is. And then there's also just some bullshit from people who just don't even know and they're just like making up stories. Like someone told me this ride was an escape room because the poster showed Conan holding up a bomb. And I guess they just assume that if it's got a bomb, it's an escape room. But no, it's not an escape room. There's no escaping of any kind. Okay, wait. Edit here. Okay, crazy change. So as I looked deeper into it, apparently there actually was a Detective Conan escape room at USJ like 3 years ago, but I guess it no longer exists. But then I guess when I was trying to figure out what the deal was with the Conan ride that they're now, I was somehow getting fed like ghost data from maybe an AI or just someone out of the loop about the escape room. So that's further confusion. It seems that the main reason there's so much confusion and wrong information about the Conan ride is because there have been, I want to say, dozens of Conan rides in the past, 20 years since USJ opened. I'm not sure what its initial form was, but then the live show happened, and then the escape room seems like it went through several revisions over the years, and all this dead data is very confusing to realize what's actually there right now. And I guess that will continue to be a problem in the future as they continue to change and update the ride. Anyway, the whole reason I'm making this video is to set the record straight, so let's just burn all that away. Here's the truth about Detective Conan the ride at Universal Studios.
この番組はヨランのスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
I would say in my definition, it's like a live show mixed with a 4D movie, mixed with some good old-fashioned Hollywood magic. So the ride basically lies about what it is, which is weird and unusual. And prior to arriving at the ride has themed itself around a Detective Conan super skyscraper called, I want to say the Bellport Theater. And at the pre-show for the ride, they imply that the theater is actually this dangerous giant elevator machine where the theater's audience will be raised in the air, rotated 360 degrees for no sensible reason. And that sounded super cool to me, but that's a lie. That's not actually true. And this lie actually made my friends chicken out on this ride because they were worried it was going to be like a crazy Gravitron thing or something. But it's a lie. That's not what it is. It's just a movie theater. The theater just implies that it can rotate 360 degrees, but it doesn't actually do that. The actual room never moves. It just uses some projection mapping tricks and some perspective tricks and a disco ball to imply that it's moving. But the other thing is technically the chairs you're sitting in move a tiny bit. It's not like a normal 4D movie theater where the chairs shake back and forth. I just want to say over the course of the show, they slowly raise up a millimeter by a millimeter before they drop you down 1 inch at the end of the show to surprise you. It's startling, but it's not really a ride at all. It's just for 1 second your chair moves. But for this 1 second, there are several motion sickness warnings for both the stage illusion and the chair dropping bit that I think, in my opinion, they're kind of overdoing it. Unless you are seriously elderly or pregnant, then maybe it could be bad. Anyway, that aside, let's go into the story. The story here is amazing. It's actually one of the greatest Conan stories I think I've ever seen. The story here is that you're a crowd that has been invited to this party to look at this diamond one night. But as the night unfolds, it's slowly and organically revealed very obtusely that the audience are actually in the middle of this massive sting operation orchestrated by Detective Conan and Amuro to take down Detective Conan's archenemy, Kaito Kid. That setup was so freaking badass. My favorite thing about this experience is that every aspect of the ride is meticulously scored up perfectly with the old jazzy 1990s Detective Conan background soundtracks, and honestly just walking through that was fun as hell for me. The other weirdness is that as you're watching the 4D movie, there are numerous real actors interacting with the movie and interacting with several places around the theater. And as the movie goes on, characters will actually come in and out of the movie screen like it's the movie Last Action Hero, becoming these real people and interacting with the audience. If I had to compare this ride to anything in the US, I'd say it's probably the closest to Muppet Vision 4D, rest in peace. But even then, that ride relied on constant performances from animatronic Muppets, and this ride relies on perfectly timed, perfectly trained actors giving perfect performances 18 times a day, and that is, in my book, way more impressive. I'm not sure how many actors they have running the show or how often they swap them out, but that's amazing. I think that's just crazy that they're doing this so many times a day and doing it perfect every single time. So that was the ride. After the fact, the gift shop was cool too. The Conan gift shop had this amazing freaking t-shirt of Detective Conan going on the Jaws ride, and I kind of super wanted that, but I already bought too many t-shirts on this trip, so that's another thing I have FOMO about. All right, and with that, I've concluded my review of Universal Studios Japan. It was a happy vacation and it came to the end. I did every single ride in the park except Jurassic Park, and I was happy for how it went down, except for the fact that my friend got super sick on Spy Family. But definitely, as the events went on and have been pushed back in my past, I now still have more FOMO for the stuff I didn't buy there, especially the Mario Band. Next time in this video series, we're going to the world's largest statue of Shin Godzilla, and me and my friends will be hunting for hyper-exclusive anime merchandise in Japan's Deadly Whirl Islands. Stay tuned, that one's a doozy.